and welcome to another Bookish video from me, Johanna, me, my dog and books. Patty says hello. I just picked her up there because she was lying on her bed. You're lying in your bed. Oh, snuggle. I'll go and show you Lucy because I would pick her up, but she looks awfully cosy. 2 secs. Here's my little Lucy Lou. Hiya, Lucy. You sleepy? She's very sleepy today. They've had their 2 walks and Lucy looked too comfy to pick up. It looks like I did a good timing on their walks because, hold on, I need to move you. I've got a bunch of books to talk to you about. Oh, now you're really close. Sorry, pals. I've now got a bunch of books to... Ooh! I don't know if this is working, is it? Is that working? Well, hopefully. Anywho's, I've now got a bunch of books to talk to you about because... Not because. I took one of... I think it was my lovely watcher channel subscriber, Debbie, who said... And I think maybe another booktuber or some booktubers do this, which is select like half a dozen books off your shelf and share them with you. So I thought, oh, I've got an itchy nose. Does that mean someone's going to surprise me? I don't know. Hopefully not a bad surprise. I'm not good at surprises. Whew. Anywho's, so I randomly picked some books from that shelf over there. Oh, point. How can I... That one over there. Randomly picked up maybe 3 books from there, and then I picked 3 books from behind me. Kind of relatively random, but there's a mix of books that I've read and haven't read that I thought I'd talk to you about. But before I talk to you about that... Oh my goodness, look at Patty. It's like legs akimbo. They've got the groomers tomorrow. And, sorry, I will jump back to books, but got the groomers tomorrow. So Lucy's got some hair that definitely needs a good groomy groom. But Patty's hair, I'm kind of liking a little bit longer. So I don't know whether to say to her just to trim a wee bit and leave her. Because I don't know if this works for dogs, but Patty's got quite fine hair, a bit like myself. And so when she gets wet, she just looks like a drowned rat. It's totally soaked through. Lucy's is pretty robust. So I do think in the winter months, maybe she... Do you know I'm talking about you? She's like... Anywho's, if I remember, our dog groomer always takes a cracking wee picture of him, and I suspect this one will be Halloweeny because of the time of year. So I'll try and remember and share it. Maybe I'll do it as a community post. That's not why I came on though. I came on to talk to you about these. I've picked... What did I pick from? Oh no, I lie. I think I've only picked... I can't remember, but I have a mix of books. I don't know why I picked 6. I think it's because Debbie said like pick half a dozen, so I've literally went like verbatim what you recommended. I listen to you guys. You folks are full of great ideas and content ideas, and I want to make videos that you want to watch. So 2 seconds. I feel like I need to put my Halloween wax melt on. I put electric one on because I'm not allowed candles anymore. It's a wee bit of a fire starter by accident. Anywho's, I shall stop with the distractions and get on to the actual pile of books that I've picked up off my shelf and want to chat to you about. So first up is a book, as you can probably tell, either I've read it or I bought it second hand. It's very worn. So no, I haven't read it. I may be the only person on the internet that has not read this book. Possibly. If you are another person on the internet who has not read this book, let me know in the comments so I don't feel alone. I bought this very second hand. Did my mum give me it? Anyway, it's very worn, and I do have the other one, The Maidens. Have I read anything by Alex Michaelides. Is that how you say it? Let me know if I'm wrong. Please do correct me. I don't like doing people's names wrong. And this was, you know, a big thriller book of the time. Thriller of the year in whatever year it came out. Why I haven't read it? I don't know. I had so much hype. It's on my shelf. Have I read most of the books on my shelves? Probably not. Actually, I have no idea what it's about. Well, it says Alicia Berenson lived a seemingly perfect life until one day 6 years ago when she shot her husband in the head 5 times. Since then, she hasn't spoken a single word. That's all I know. Only she knows what happened. Only I can make her speak. Who's the I in that? Who? So, I mean, I have hardly heard any bad reviews about this. So if you have read it and think I should, let me know. If you haven't read it, and I'm so easily distracted. I looked at it in a lovely grey and black, not grey, white and black greyhound walk past called Belle. I'm sorry. Focus, Joanna, focus. Focus, hocus pocus. Stephen Fry says it's brilliant. BBC Culture said the pace and finesse of a master. So I feel like I really should read it, but I still haven't. So if you think I should, let me know. The next is one that I picked up. I got it signed. It actually says, to my new friend, signed by Elizabeth Day. It says, Dear Johanna. So I think it was last year, Glasgow's book festival, which is called I Write, had Elizabeth Day at it, and she was talking about her new book called Friendaholic. Now, Elizabeth Day wrote the book, was it Magpie? Yes. She wrote the book called Magpie, and she did a podcast, How to Fail, which I think I read there's a book that came up of it, and I read it and then realised I hadn't. I think it's called Philosophy, something like that. And I hadn't read the podcast, but I ended up getting it as an audiobook at the library just randomly. And what was the other one she's written? The Party. I think I've got The Party. I've never read it. But I didn't like Magpie. Don't hate on me if you liked Magpie. I just personally didn't like it. So I was like, well, this is a non-fiction book about friendship. And I was like, I like to read that. So it says, Confessions of a Friendship Addict. And it says, we often can't find the right words to express the unique depth and complicated beauty of what friendship really is, because we spent so much time heroizing, is that a word? Heroizing romantic love. This book is an attempt to fill that gap. So she talks quite, when I went to see her, and I actually really enjoyed this book. I think I either gave it 4 or 5 stars, I can't remember. Now it'll be on my Goodreads, and my Storygraph. But she said, as a society, there's a tendency to elevate romantic love. But what about friendships? Aren't they just as, or if not, more important? Why is it so hard to find the right words to express what these uniquely complex bonds mean to us? In Friendaholic, Confessions of a Friendship Addict, Elizabeth Day marks on a journey to answer these questions. And there's like sections about it called, because it'll give you a bit of a feel of the book. Pandemic, what lockdown taught me about friendship. Making friends, why do we do it? Joan, age difference friendships. Ghosting, when friends disappear. Savanam, so she mentions some specific friends when she talks. So like Joan is a friend, an older friend that she has, and then she talks about a few other ones. So she said, Santam, male friendships, does gender matter? When Harry met Sally conundrum. Contracts, compiling your friendship CV with help from the Real Housewives. Charmaine, the joy of clarity. Frenemies, when friends don't want the best for you. Fertility, not having children when all your friends do. Clemmy, can friendship withstand big life shifts? Double tap to like friendships on the online age. Emma, best friends, endings, and what I've learned about friendship. So there's loads about this that I could absolutely relate to as I was growing up. The size of friendship groups, friendships as you grow older, having kids or not having kids. I thought this was really good. I know a few people have maybe got some thoughts about Elizabeth Day, etc. I thought this book was great. I enjoyed listening to her talk about it at the book event, and I would highly recommend it. I also think kudos, because it's about time there was more books about friendship, not just always romantic love. So that was that one. And then one I picked off my shelf, I got for my birthday from my friend Zoe. It's also like a really weird, like this bright white cover. I don't know if this is like it's from Hydra Publications. I've never heard of them. Is it a non-fiction? I don't know. I'll find out in a minute because I'm about to tell you about it. Anyway, I think I put this on a wish list, and then for my birthday one of my friends bought me it, and it is The Vile Thing We Created by Robert P. Ottone, a fun, freaky and creepy riff on the 21st century new parent anxieties, says Paul Tremblay. So bear with, because I'm going to read the synopsis, because I actually have kinda no idea why I put this on my wish list, but other than look at this cover. It's pretty freaky. It says Lola and Ian had what they thought was the perfect relationship. Vacations, so it's American, fine dining, a healthy sex life, but when their childless lifestyle begins impacting their social lives, they decide to take the natural next step. But what happens when the next step cracks the perfect foundations Lola and Ian have built? What happens when the next step is anything but natural? Robert P. Ottone's The Vile Thing We Created is his terrifying vision of parenthood in the tradition of Ada Levene and Thomas Tyrone. I don't know what that is. Oh, this could give you the heebie-jeebies. If you've read it, let me know. If you've heard anything about this book, also let me know. It looks it's a floppy. Give me a thumbs up if you love a floppy book. So, yeah. What is it? There's a blurb. Unnatural, uncanny, and simmering with unease. Robert P. Ottone's latest suburban folk horror, The Vile Thing We Created, will scare you skinless. Definitely not what you're expecting. I actually really want to read this now. How good does this sound? Also, this image is really freaking me out. So those are the first three from my shelves. One I've read, two I haven't. And for the next three, which I randomly picked, well, I didn't kind of randomly. I wanted to pick a mix of books that I have read and I haven't. So two I've read here and one I haven't. So I'll go with one I've read, which this was no, it wasn't. I won it in a competition that John Mars. I love John Mars. He's a great psychological thriller and dystopian speculative fiction writer. The Marriage Art is one of his speculative dystopian fictions, which I believe in that universe he has. Oh, the Family Experiment came after this. There was this. Prior to this was The One. And then I think The Passengers. The One and The Passengers I've not read yet. So you can read them in any order. But if you read them in order, there's normally Easter eggs. So in The Family Experiment, which came after this one, there's Easter eggs about this one in The Family Experiment, if that makes sense. I would say so far, having not read The One or The Passengers, which I hear great things about, this is still one of my favourite. The Family Experiment was definitely a 5-star, but this was a 5-star for me. And the reason why is because, see, when he writes his sort of dystopian speculative fiction, I honestly read it, think, oh my God, this could happen. So in this world, it says, what if marriage was the law? Dare you disobey? So we're in near future Britain, where there's a right-wing government, probably the Tories, who decide that not enough people are getting married. So we need to incentivise it. So we come up with the Marriage Act, where if you get married, there's numerous incentives. You get better health, even though we've got the healthcare, like there's a tiered system now in the NHS, not now, but in this world, I mean, potentially, in the NHS, where if you agree to the Marriage Act and you get married, benefits in your healthcare, benefits probably on taxes and stuff like that, right? So, I mean, not that too far to what the Tories were trying to bring in. And then you kind of start the story where they've like hired influencers to sell the Marriage Act and the benefits of it. The thing is, right, if you sign up to the Marriage Act, you're also saying it's okay for like Alexa type devices. I know if people say that Alexa or, you know, hello Google stuff, they can hear you, so I don't want to say it too loud, but you have this tool in the house that's monitoring you, and if they pick up and listen in to the relationship that is part of the Marriage Act and they're like, there's some trouble here, they'll quickly swoop in like a, what do they call them? A relationship something. Can't remember. I think they're relationship counsellors, but they'll literally jump in and come into your home for like a number of weeks just to check everything is okay. So in this story, there's 4 couples, and it says, are about to discover just how impossible relationships can be when the government is supervising every aspect. What I loved about this is it so could happen, right? And what he does in his dystopian sort of speculative fiction is there's kind of multimedia. So this is like some of the propaganda that's used to like sell the Marriage Act. He said, a perfect companion where your loss is also your gain. Smart marriage. Smartphones. Smart. And then there's like news bulletins. I'll not read them just in case it's a spoiler. Alright, so this is like the propaganda. How does it work? What happens if my Oddite thinks my marriage is at risk? Level 1, don't worry. We have you covered in a 3-step programme. Oh, it's a relationship responder. Will come in at level 2. And level 3 is family core if you need to go that far. This is an utter, and this word is overused, but it's deserved, page turner. I adored this. I came out the other day and Googling it going, what if this actually happens? What if they incentivise you to like get married? I don't want to get married. I'm not married, but I'm not like, if you want to get married and you're in love with those who are able to get married, and like marriage for everyone, not just like you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying, right? You do you. I'm just not into marriage, and this terrified me. Then after this, I recommend then reading not the Marriage Act, the Family Experiment, which reminds me that I really need to read The One and The Passengers. If you've read any of those, let me know. Anywho's, yes, I entered a competition to win this from John Mars on his Instagram or TikTok, I can't remember, and that's how I got it. I think it was signed. Is it signed? No, it's not. I thought it was. Maybe it just came from his publisher. Competition. Yeah. Anyway, it's a chonk, but I threw through it. Then there's one that I was gifted by HQ Fiction, who do a load of books that I really like, and I've not read this one yet. I feel bad, but that's my life. And it's called, also look at the cover, it's called The Good Liars by Anita Frank. Now what else did Anita Frank write? The Lost Ones and The Return. Have I read anything? I have no idea. But this gave me Art Deco historical fiction sort of cover vibes. It's a very pretty cover. It says, sometimes the truth won't stay buried. A fabulous book, addictive and utterly compelling. In the summer of 1914, a boy vanishes, never to be seen again. Now in 1920, the once esteemed Stillwell family of Darkacre Hall find themselves struggling with the legacy of the First World War. Leonard bears the physical scars while his brother Maurice has endured more than his mind can take. Maurice's wife Ida yearns for the lost days of privilege and pleasure, and family friend Victor seems unwilling to move on. But their lives are thrown into further disarray when the missing boy's case from 1914 is reopened, and this time they themselves are under scrutiny. As the dead return to haunt the living, old resentments resurface and loyalties are tested while secrets risk being unearthed that could destroy them all. So it's very much... oh yeah, those are the other books by this author. An English author. This is her third novel. I think it looks like she writes historical fiction. And they sent me this, and just based on the kind of cover and the blurb, it sounded like a kind of, well, I don't know if it's murder mystery because the boy's only gone missing, but a kind of mystery, historical fiction set in an era like the 1920s. So I kind of fancy that. If anyone's heard, it also looks like short chapters in big type. Not that you get bonus points for that, but I'm wondering if there's... A haunting tale of guilt and grief treads a perfect line between a chilling ghost story and a gripping mystery. I really should pick this up soon. If you want me to read this soon so I can let you know if it's worth reading in my personal opinion, which counts for nothing, let me know. Historical fiction, I would say I'm a hit and miss with, but that's a big fat lie, because pretty much everything that Kristen Hanna writes is historical fiction in some way, and I absolutely adore it. So, and the next one I'm about to tell you is one of my favourite books, and it's kind of historical fiction, so I'm eating all my words. So, the next book I read, I don't know how many years ago, but Editing Me, hello Editing Johanna, will look at my Goodreads and tell you when I read this. I read it on audio, I think, first time. And honestly, I would say it's one of my favourite books. And it's Homegoing by Yaa Gyasi. This was the first, I don't even know if this is their first book. It might be. I got some of their other books after this, and it's just, they've been great, but just very different to this, but this was utterly remarkable. It is like an epic, multi-generational story, like spans like hundreds of years. So I'm just going to very briefly read the blurb here. Apologies, but it's just so I don't miss anything or give like anything away. It says, Hiya and Eze, two sisters with two very different destinies, one sold into slavery and one a slave trader's wife. The consequences of their fate reverberate through the generations that follow, from the Gold Coast of Africa to the plantations of Mississippi, from the missionary schools of Ghana to the dive bars of Harlem, spanning continents. You literally go from, like, a lot of people, I think, especially Europeans, look at America as, you know, the kind of main perpetrator of slavery, but it was worldwide, and Britain had a lot to play in that, and this opened my eyes to a lot of that before I started going down a rabbit hole of why did I not learn in this school. So it spans continents and generations, and the author has written this novel as an intense, heartbreaking story of one family through the lives of the story of America itself. I'm not even sure that blurb does it justice, because this was utterly phenomenal. It also has, now does it, because you literally go through the generations, and yeah, because of that, at the very start, and I use this quite a lot to refer to the different generations of people as you go through the ages. phenomenally written. I don't even know how to express how amazing a storyteller Yaa Gyasi is. Gyasi, sorry. Like, she's Ghanaian, I think, but she was born in Ghana and raised in Huntsville, Alabama. This was her first novel. It was selected for the National Book Foundation's 5 Under 35, shortlisted for Fiction's First Novel Prize, and won the National Book Critics Circle John Lennon Prize for the best first book. Honest to goodness, like, she looked so young when she wrote it, like in an amazing way. Check out her other book. I can't even remember what the other books are. I will literally read anything she writes and brings out, but nothing has quite compared to this. The cover is stunning. It's beautiful, it's insightful, it's mind-blowing, it's one I actually really need to reread now. Now that I'm thinking about it, I need to reread this. Out of all the books, like, obviously there's books in here I highly recommend, but this is just, if you had to ask me to do a video about my favourite books of all time, this would definitely be in it. I don't know what other ones would be though, so don't ask me to do that yet, because I need to think about that. That might be because it changes, like, where sometimes, depending, but what I would say is this was phenomenal. But then I say all that, and then I'm thinking, oh my god, if I hyped it up too much and everybody goes in, I hate going into a book that's so hyped and then everybody's like, well, it was really highly hyped and now I feel disappointed. So pretend I didn't say that and go in thinking this might be a good book. If you've read Homegoing, let me know in the comments. If you've read it and didn't like it, also let me know in the comments, because I'm here to chat. We can't all have the same opinions and thoughts about books, because that would be blooming boring. If you've read anything else by Yaa Gyasi, let me know. Why can't I remember the name of the other book? I've got it up there. Transcendent Kingdom, that's what it was. Well done me. I didn't stop and check Google. Editing me didn't do anything. That just popped right into my head. Transcendent Kingdom was really good. It's probably a 4 out of 5 star for me. Very different to that book. Very different story, but it was really good. So there's another one for you. So now you know. They are half a dozen books I plucked off my bookshelves to randomly tell you about. Are there any here that you fancy following me chatting to you about them? That you've read, that you haven't read, that you've never heard of, is absolutely new to you? Wish I hadn't talked about it, or glad I did? Let me know in the comments, because I'd love to chat to you about it. And also let me know, did you find this at all interesting? Would you like me to do more? Would you like me to randomly pick another half dozen off my shelves and talk to you about it? I quite enjoyed doing that, because actually it made me reflect on the ones that I haven't read. I'd be like, I really need to read that. And the ones that I have, it's kind of like, you really need that. You really need to read it. So let me know. And as always, if you enjoyed this, do give me a like and a comment. Let me know. If you've watched this far, give me... what emoji shall I say? A little house for homegoing. And if you like this video, please do subscribe if you don't already. And if you do, thank you so much. Honestly, thank you for all your views, your comments, your likes. And even if you sit and you never comment and you just watch and quietly enjoy, thank you too. So until next time, which will be another weekend reading vlog. Yes. You'll see me in another weekend reading vlog if you watch this in chronological order. If not, another video about books of some shape or form. So for now, until next time, I'll see you again soon.